G'day guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the Brighton Wonder Kid save. We are into season 3, and so far it's not been too bad, has it? So let's go and have a quick look and see what is going on. So financially we are flush, absolutely flush. 263 million still in a transfer budget, and obviously part of this Wonder Kid save was to build a team with the Wonder Kids that I'd already put in the squad, use the Wonder Kids that were already there in the squad, and also potentially finding new ones, maybe selling a couple of the players on that didn't quite make it, just didn't get used, because at the end of the day the amount of players that I put in almost equated to a full squad of Wonder Kids. So not everybody's going to be used, as much as I tried to do that. So there has been a few movers and shakers, not too many ins, a few more outs, so to speak. So if we have a look at the dates on these things, so we're on the 1st of September for season number 3. Transfer wise, yeah, not a lot going on really. The only major one that did leave, and is not a player who obviously I brought in, he was an original part of the squad, Jan-Paul van Hecker, has gone to Liverpool for up to 74 million quid. This guy, if you get a chance to steal him away from Brighton on whatever save you're playing on, get him. He is phenomenal. And he turns into an absolute monster of a centre-back. He's like Van Dijk reincarnated on this game. Where he turns into that in real life, only time will tell. But you look at those mentals and technicals, even the physicals. Physicals aren't exactly the best, but he more than makes up for it in his technicals and mentals. So yeah, he's gone for almost 74 million. That was the big sale. And then we made another 75 million through other sales. Mitoma, I felt the time was right to move on. Now he's 28. Yeah, okay, he's in his prime. But I wanted to start using the younger players and bring them through. That's the whole point of the save. So Mitoma had to go. He's not going to develop any further than that. He's an absolutely amazing player. Had a couple of fantastic seasons for us. But it's time for him to move on. And he's gone and got his payday over at Al Ahly in Saudi Arabia. Let's get back up there. Igor has gone to Chelsea for 17.5 million. Abdoulaye Sima, I finally managed to get rid of him. He's gone to Al Ghafra for 12. Adrian Mazulu, he's gone to Coventry. And Matt O'Reilly, who, congratulations, at the time of recording, got his debut goal for Brighton over the weekend against Man City. He's gone to Al Ittihad for 1.4 million, so it's a bargain for them. And I've only brought in one player, and one player who I've seen his name banded around left, right and centre through his socials, different YouTubers buying him. I've never bought him before. I'm quite excited to use him. Simone Profundi. 53 million release clause from Udinese. Phenomenal player. And somebody who can play in that shadow striker role very, very comfortably, and I think will give João Pedro a substantial run for his money. At the age of 19, he's not going to be a starter straight away, but he is classed as a wonder kid, 5-star ability, very consistent. So all in all, very happy. And his career hasn't been too bad. He had a good season at Udinese last season, 21 starts, 3 goals, couple of assists, not too bad, especially in the Italian league and with Udinese. So that concludes the transfers. Let's have a look at the schedule. Well, scheduling wise hasn't been too bad. 3-0 win against Bournemouth, Ferguson and Kadioglu. Then we went away to St James's Park. Bit of a litmus test for us on this one. 1-1 draw. Quite happy with that actually. And then a 2-1 win at home against Aston Villa. So I'd say that's a reasonable start to the season. We're in the Champions League, so we've got that to contend with. I've got a big squad now, really big squad. Obviously I've got the team all picked out. Let's get this reorganised. I've got the team picked out for the most part, but not all of this will stay for the season. It's just while I was playing out a few of the games. I believe the transfer window has finished. Yes, it has. So, no more ins and outs. Let's go and see what happens in the season, because we're fighting on all fronts here, and it's exciting times. Let's go and have a look and see what happens. Well, this has definitely been a season of what could have been. Consistency through the first half of the season was actually very promising. Scoring a 2-0 win versus Liverpool, a 2-1 win against Man City, and In our Champions League debut, a 3-0 win versus Stuttgart. But sprinkled in amongst that, for good measure, was a 5-0 hammering from AC Milan, a 2-1 loss to Spurs, and also a 1-0 loss to Leeds. December and January came around, and the promising form continued, helping us progress in the FA Cup, winning 3-1 versus Plymouth, and also progressing into the quarterfinals of the Champions League with a knockout aggregate win against Frankfurt 2-1. But coming off the back of that Frankfurt win, our form and season suddenly just fell apart. Being knocked out of the Champions League by Real Madrid, absolutely battered to be fair. We were knocked out of the FA Cup quarter-finals by Crystal Palace, our rivals, so to speak. And towards the end of the season, we also lost 2-1 to Wolves, and also 2-1 to Leicester. And we ended up finishing our season with a 0-0 draw versus Southampton, to end on a bit of a damp squib. Well, that's not too bad, I suppose. Let's try and keep this in context. We are Brighton. We are punching in the heavyweight league, and we got some massive heavyweights that are above us. Okay, there's a few that have dropped off. Villa, what the hell are they doing all the way down in the relegation areas? Cool, they survived on the final day. And they're in the Conference League. They survived on the final day, thanks to Bournemouth losing and they won. But all in all, the teams above us, I expect them to be above us still at the moment, considering how young our squad is. But the Europa League qualification, after being in the Champions League this season, is not a bad thing. What does worry me a little bit is the draws and losses. Might need to look at that. But overall, we're probably about where I expect us to be after 3 seasons. So let's have another look at, well, a look at the other competitions, see how we did. Yeah. Okay, Champions League, we'll have a look at that first. Real Madrid lost in the final, but they knocked us out. Brighton up against Real Madrid. We ain't going to get past them, not yet. We finished 16th, so we won 4, beating Bayern Munich away. Wow. Real Sociedad, Galatasaray and Stuttgart. We drew versus Inter Milan at home, and we lost. Oh, we got battered by AC Milan at the San Siro. We lost to Spurs, that's disappointing. And we lost at home to Frankfurt, that's disappointing as well. But that did mean we went into the knockout playoff round, and we got our revenge against Frankfurt. We beat them, and we got through to the round of 16. Well, we met our end and we got battered 9-2. We got battered 9-2. 9-2 on aggregate by Real Madrid. Definitely taught a lesson there, without a doubt. But I'm not too unhappy with that. Getting to the round of 16 on our first season of the Champions League, I think is pretty damn good. But quarter-final to Crystal Palace in the FA Cup and quarter-final to Chelsea. The FA Cup's a little bit more disappointing. Losing to Palace, that's a derby, so to speak. I don't understand how the Palace-Brighton thing works as a derby, but hey-ho. Yeah, so all in all, no silverware. Good qualification for the Europa League. Made a good effort at the Champions League. I'll take that. I'll take that for a season. Let's have a look at the goals. Evan Ferguson, 33 goals. Yeah, Evan Ferguson, 33 goals. That's pretty good, to say the least. We have a look at his development. Yikes. Jeez, and he's wanted again. Ugh. This is going to be tough. A 21-year-old is like, that's going to be tough. What is more disappointing is the fact that Pedro only got 10 goals this season when he hit nearly 3 times that amount the season previous, and 15 on there, so he's dropped off a bit. I'm a little bit annoyed at that. Alex Scott with 7 and 5, Buonanotte with 6 and 11, João Rego with 5 and 9, Ben Doak with 3 and 2. That's not too bad. Not enough goals coming from the team, and I'm a little bit disappointed at that, to say the least. Something I'm going to have to correct. Profundi, our new signing, Didn't get many starts, but has he developed a little bit? Yeah, he has. I think we could be looking at Profundi maybe next season or the season after, taking over from Pedro, potentially. Okay, so let's have a quick look. Speaking of Pedro, actually, going to do a little bit of a review of him. Potential ability is still up there. He's 24. I don't know if he's going to get any further, but his pros are off the charts. It's consistent. It loves big matches. Physically, still outstanding. If we have a look at his development, let's have a look and see. No. Progress. There we go. Attributes. If we have a look at, say, his dribbling, there hasn't actually been that much improvement. So this is going to start making me think now, if there's not much improvement after this season, bearing in mind it was a Champions League season where he was playing a lot of games as well. He didn't miss anything through injuries. Not really. Only a couple here and there. He had a mid... Oh, that wasn't this season, that was the season previous. So anything after that, it's always been a couple of weeks or a couple of days. Not real any rhyme or reason to it. I'm a little bit disappointed in that. I'm not seeing enough progression there. Whereas Buonanotte, on the other hand, he's progressing very nicely. And at 21, he's got a few years on Pedro. Potential ability of 5-star. This guy could be an absolute worldie when he's got first touch 16, composure 16, work rate 16, his balance is 16. An incredible inside forward, and again has amazing consistency. Let's have a look at the product. Yeah, so here we go. Attribute wise, it's all... Hang on, let's have a look at all time. There we go. All time as a shadow striker. Or let's have a look at the inside forward, because I think he has been playing with that as well. Where we go? Attack. There we go. So that's what he's been. So he's jumping up by 1s per season. If he keeps on doing that, in fact, he's had to jump up by 2 in positioning, 3 in determination. So he's become incredibly determined. 2 on strength. So physically he's improving. Can't say further than that. And after his loan spell at Leicester, where he did well actually, and then he did a loan spell at Newcastle where he did even better, his first season here has not been too bad. I've got high hopes for him, real high hopes. As I've got high hopes for season 4. We're in the Europa League, so actually I think that's probably more around our standing at the moment, to actually win it. And if I can keep hold of Ferguson just for a couple more seasons, I don't want to sell him. I really don't want to sell him. And have I got somebody to replace him? I can easily find somebody with this transfer budget. Of course I can. Especially when you look at the amount of players that I've got on loan. I've got Van Persie to come back, Krupi to come back, Darvish. Let's have a look at Osman, Brian Garuda. A lot of players that are due to come back and bulk out the squad again. So we've got players that we could potentially use for next season now. And there we have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please do leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Keep up to date with all the series that are coming out. I've got quite a few coming out and more in the pipeline as well. I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'll see you later. Ta-ra.